Well, hello, and thank you for joining us this afternoon. I'm Jurnee Taylor, joined with my friend and meteorologist, Simone Thomas. We hope you had a great weekend. Simone, this is the funny part about living in Arkansas. Last week, snow, ice, all the things you can think of when it comes to winter. This week, 70s.
70s, sunshine, feeling like spring. And I mean, depending on if you're in the shade or not, still might be a little ice.
Still a little bit cold, yes.
So, at least that gives us a sign that it did happen and we weren't dreaming of things. But at least for the week ahead, things are going to feel a lot better. Right now, we're already up to 59 in the capital city, 61 in Hot Springs, 60 even over in Mena. The farther west you are in the state, a little bit warmer for south and eastern parts of the state where there was some fog this morning and a little bit of cloud cover left over. More of those 50s, 53 right now, the current in Pine Bluff, Camden holding on to 48. As we continue through the afternoon, definitely looking to see a warm upcoming as temperatures look to climb to the lower and middle 60s across the state today. So looking to see more of that sunshine with lower to middle 60s across the state. We could even see a few places off to our west like Hot Springs and Russellville see more of those upper 60s, but still a lot warmer than what we saw last week. And this is still not even as warm as we're looking to get. More details on the week ahead are coming up in that 7-day outlook.
All right, Simone, thank you. Well, developing news this afternoon as Pope Francis has been in the hospital in critical condition. According to the Vatican, he's now showing early signs of poor kidney function. The Pope has been treated for 10 days, but is now awake and eating normally. Chris Livesay has the latest.
Over the weekend, what started as bronchitis became much worse. The Pope, now diagnosed with double pneumonia, required high-flow oxygen and blood transfusions after suffering a prolonged asthma-like respiratory crisis on Saturday. Then Sunday, blood tests revealed early signs of kidney failure. Serious for anyone, but critical for an 88-year-old already missing part of a lung that was removed when he was a young man. And it all comes during the Holy Year of Jubilee, when pilgrims by the tens of millions come to Rome to see the Pope appear in a demanding schedule of public ceremonies. Even if Francis recovers, he must be considering how he can possibly live up to expectations, says CBS News Vatican consultant Father Anthony Figueiredo.
That's what this Jubilee year is all about, when we're going to see 35 million pilgrims coming to Rome. So for him to be away from those people is really a great suffering for him.
Now, the Vatican is notoriously tight-lipped. However, Pope Francis has instructed his medical staff to be transparent about his health. Chris Livesay, CBS News, Rome.
The search continues today for 95-year-old Belva Day. Investigators say she was last spotted driving her 2004 beige Buick on Highway 62, heading toward Fulton County. Surveillance video placed her in Batesville while the trail has now went cold. If you have any information, call Mountain Home Police. Mountain Home Police issued a silver alert, though, 2 weeks ago, and she hasn't been seen since the afternoon of February 6. Now, a community effort is growing online. A Facebook group called The Search for Mrs. Belva Day now has 9,000 members spreading the word and searching for answers. THB 11's Maya Ellison will have more on this coming up tonight at 5. Happening today, a celebration of life for former Governor Jim Guy Tucker. It follows Friday's public viewing where the Capitol opened its doors as Tucker laid in state in the rotunda. Tucker served as governor from 1992 to 1996 and died on the 13th at 81 years old. Governor Sanders has ordered all state flags to fly at half-staff in his honor. The service is set for 2 p.m. today. Governor Sarah Sanders has signed a new law aimed at improving maternal health outcomes. The move comes as Arkansas ranks near the bottom nationally for pregnancy resources. Now, the Healthy Moms, Healthy Babies Act will invest more than $12 million into Medicaid for pregnancy care. The funding will go toward expanded remote monitoring, as well as additional prenatal and postnatal visits. Sanders says it all includes a 70% increase in reimbursements for deliveries and C-sections. Meanwhile, state lawmakers could soon take action in the ongoing debate over short-term rentals in Arkansas. A proposal to regulate Airbnbs and Verbos could hit the House floor as early as this week. House Bill 1445 would shift oversight to the state, stripping local governments of their power to set their own rules. Supporters say it's about protecting property rights and rolling back what they call overreach from cities and counties. But opponents, including North Little Rock Mayor Terry Hardwick, say they argue local leaders should have the final say. Two bills that could reshape the alcohol industry here in Arkansas are now on the governor's desk. Senate Bill 97 expands the number of liquor permits a person or corporation can hold to 3. Meanwhile, SB 98 allows grocery and convenience stores to deliver alcohol to wet counties. It would also allow third-party companies like DoorDash to deliver in the same way. You can learn more about both of those bills and why everyone is not on board with them right now on THV11.com. And a bill aimed at helping drivers with autism during encounters with police is now law. Arkansas is now the first southern state and 7th in the country to adopt the Blue Envelope Act. The envelope allows those on the spectrum to communicate their diagnosis, promoting safety for both drivers and officers. Scott Harding with the Department of Finance and Administration hopes it reaches and helps thousands of Arkansans.
We all know someone with autism with a diagnosis, whether it's a family or a friend. So one, we're gonna have to do a good job of communicating the availability of this program to Arkansans, and we want to see people utilize it.
The new law takes effect on January 1st, 2026, and the envelope is free to those who need it. They will be available at your local revenue office or on the Arkansas DFA website. European world leaders holding a moment of silence. 3 years since Russia invaded Ukraine as President Trump and others look for a potential resolution in the war. The president is at the White House meeting with the French president at this time and will meet with the British Prime Minister later this week. Over the weekend, Trump said he thinks he can negotiate an end to the fighting, but is asking for something in return.
I want them to give us something for all of the money that we put up. And I'm going to try and get the war settled, and I'm going to try and get all that death ended. So we're asking for rare earth and oil, anything we can get.
Trump has previously blamed President Zelensky for the prolonged war. Over the weekend, Russia launched a record number of drones into Ukraine, with at least 3 people being killed. Federal workers have a midnight deadline tonight to list 5 things they accomplished last week or else they're out of a job. That's according to President Trump's special assistant, Elon Musk. But there has been some pushback from inside the administration, with a number of departments telling their workers not to respond. CBS News Chief White House correspondent Nancy Cordes has the latest.
Elon is doing a great job.
After Elon Musk warned it was coming, an email went out to millions of federal workers, directing them to list 5 bullets of what you accomplished last week by midnight tonight. On his social media platform, X, Musk threatened that failure to respond will be taken as a resignation. The ultimatum coming just hours after President Trump urged Musk to get more aggressive as he works to fire thousands of government employees.
We're removing all of the unnecessary, incompetent, and corrupt bureaucrats from the federal workforce.
But even some of the president's allies are taking issue with the approach.
If I could say one thing to Elon Musk, it's like, please put a dose of compassion in this. These are real people. These are real lives.
And while a few agencies urged workers to comply with the email, the FBI, led by Kash Patel, told agents to pause on responding. So did the State Department, led by Marco Rubio, telling staffers that no employee is obligated to report their activities outside of their department chain of command. The Pentagon also opted out just days after the president made major personnel moves there. He fired the chairman of the Joint Chiefs, C.Q. Brown, and the chief of the U.S. Navy, whom Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth once derided as inexperienced and suggested she was only promoted because she is a woman.
The president deserves to pick his key national security and military advisory team.
Democratic Senator Jack Reed slammed the moves.
It's the beginning of a very, very serious degradation of the military and politicization of the military.
Trump intends to nominate retired Air Force Lieutenant General Dan Raisin Kane to replace General C.Q. Brown. He'd be the first 3-star general to be named as the chairman of the Joint Chiefs. Nancy Cordes, CBS News, the White House.
Well, in another move last night, President Trump announced that conservative podcaster and former Secret Service agent Dan Bongino will serve as deputy director of the FBI under Kash Patel. The second in command at the agency is traditionally a career agent, but Bongino lacks any FBI experience. Like Patel, however, he has been a fierce defender of the president. Well, coming up, have you received any weird toll tag texts recently? Well, it's likely a scam. What experts are saying consumers should do to stay safe and protect their bank accounts.